Hi, I'm Jim with Pour the Juice, and in this video, I'm going to find out if these Woodford Holiday Edition bottles are any better than a traditional Woodford. I've purchased these for a few years. I think I missed last year, but I believe I have over here 2022 and 2023. And, the first time I purchased it, I was like, oh, there's got to be something special about this bottle, or else why would they sell them? And then all of the research that I do just says that they're a normal bottle. So I really want to try that out and see if it's true. Because if that's the case, I'm not going to buy them anymore. Unfortunately, sorry about the crinkling. I am a sucker for some decent marketing. I love anything Christmas. And some of my favorite Christmas bottles, Christmas editions, holiday editions that ever came out were those Jack Daniel's holiday selects. I used to love it when Jack Daniel's did that. And that was back in the day when Jack Daniel's didn't do anything high proof. They were completely against high proof at that time. But they released the Jack Daniel's Holiday Select as special single barrels that were a little bit higher than what their normal single barrels were, from my recollection. And those bottles were absolutely delicious. I loved those so much, and I think they stopped doing them like 2014. But if there's any bottle on this planet that brings back more memories of the past, it's those Jack Daniel's Holiday Selects. I love those bottles. Anyway, let me get back to Woodford here. Woodford is kind of the exact opposite of Jack Daniel's, even though it's owned by the same company. You never know what's in a Woodford bottle. They don't tell you age statements. They don't tell you, well, I think they do tell you mash bills, but no age statement, nothing like that. There's literally nothing on this bottle other than saying who it's designed by. At least, at least one of these previous bottles, they put 2022 on the bottle. But yeah, this one they don't. They just say designed by Mark Carrion or whatever it is. So I'm just gonna assume that they're the same, but I want to test it out, and I'm gonna give these bottles the benefit of the doubt by pairing them up with just regular old Woodford. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour regular Woodford in this first glass. I'm going to follow it up per year with each of these holiday selects, and I'm going to see if I really enjoy them or not. Maybe I should do this as a blind. Should I do this as a blind? I should probably do this as a blind. I'll be right back. All right, we're back, and got our little tags here. So I'm going to do A, B, C, D across these. Just because I don't want to, have any predispositions going into this on what I think should happen or what I want to happen. I'm going to keep it the same as I said, A, B, C, and D, and it's just going to go in order of when they were released. So I have, well, besides regular Woodford's going to be A. And then B is going to be the 2022 batch. C is going to be the 2023 batch. Yeah, we'll do that. Save some of this guy. And then D will be the 2025 batch. And we'll see. As I mentioned, I'm not the biggest Woodford fan. Oh geez, I spilled that everywhere. All right, no worries. I enjoy it. I don't think it's anything special. Most of it, at least. I do love the double oaked. I think the double oaked is delicious. I think the double oaked is overrated. And only some of these special editions do I really enjoy. I probably should have done a little bit more. I knew I was going to drip. New bottle always gets you. All right. Let's get those over there. Get some of the drippage up. And I'm going to mix these. See, I have a, what is it? Historic barrel entry from Woodford. And I really enjoy that. That might be my favorite Woodford Reserve product that I've ever had. Other than that, I've had a few of the barrel strength ones or foolproof or whatever they call them. And I just think, you know, I hate it when a bottle is over $100 and it doesn't tell you how old it is. That really like grinds my gears. Um, as I talk about in my reviews, value is a big deal to me when I'm buying a bottle. I want to know how old something is. I want to know what it's finished with, if it's finished. I want to know what grains are in there, everything. Um, I just want to know what I'm buying. And I think Woodford hides that a little bit. And I think they're extremely overpriced for some of those special editions. And I think their generic stuff is just okay. That's just me. Try not to hate on them. But let's get this started. So I'll start all the way here over on the right. I'm going to do a smell test through all of them, see if I could smell any differences. Now, there should be batch variation in general. So I do expect some variation here. But I do want to see if that little bottle of Woodford can somehow beat any of these. That'd be interesting to me. It's a little plastic 50 milliliter bottle. So that'd be really interesting. Likewise, just want to see if there's like big differences. Some of these bottles have been open for a couple of years, even though I don't drink it very often. We'll see. So that smells like Woodford. To me, it's very vanilla forward. A little bit of leather in there. It's a good smelling bourbon. There's some citrus, there's some cherry. It's not going to knock your socks off, but I think it smells nice. This smells so similar. It's actually kind of insane to me how similar those two are. Maybe a little bit more grain alcohol on the nose. Yeah, that would be the only difference is this is less of that punchy grain alcohol note, while this has quite a bit of ethanol on it. All right. This one is a bit more mellow. Not as much coming off on the nose as the first two glasses. It's what's there is like really in the background. I could tell it's very similar to these two, but it's almost like I'm smelling it from a distance. Interesting. And then let's get to this last glass. It would be interesting to me if this is the new one that I just opened, as it's a brand new pour. I mean, either one of these, because this one's having some ethanol come off of it. This is the prettiest looking one. And this smells almost exactly similar to the first glass. Crazy. Okay. So Woodford smells like Woodford is what we've determined so far. But let's see which one tastes the best. That was interesting. Woodford's whole thing is they say there's 200 flavor notes or whatever it is. And usually like people scoff at that. But I do think there's some truth in it. I don't just get a few notes off this. It's kind of like an amalgamation of every type of whiskey note that you could get. There's some vanilla in there. There's chocolate. There's a little bit of fruit. And it kind of just bounces around. It's a little chaotic on the palate. And there's citrus in it. Quite a bit of oak. You get like the oaky bitterness on there as well. If I was drinking this blind, I mean blind, not knowing it was Woodford, um, I may think it could have been like a Four Roses product. Because I get that kind of same thing with Four Roses. It's maybe not as chaotic with Four Roses, but it's kind of the same thing. No notes with Four Roses really stand out to me above any others, and that's kind of what I'm getting here. Just generic bourbon notes. Um, yeah, let's move on. This is the glass that I had quite a bit of ethanol on the nose, and that seems to have subsided a little bit. Yeah, now I'm getting more cherry for sure. More ethanol on the palate. Earthier than the first glass. Not as much fruit by any means. Yeah, I would say ethanol and earthiness is what really stands out about this glass. And I'm going to go in for another taste, just because I do want to do like two kind of tastes in a row to make sure I get the full flavor. A lot of bitterness on this one too. Second taste did help, but it's still pretty earthy. Still fairly bitter. It's very charred tasting, both of these glasses. And it's something I never really quite realized from Woodford is how char forward the whiskey is. This one specifically, it tastes like I licked the inside of a barrel. All right, let's get to glass 3 here. So far, I'm going to put this in last place, even though I haven't tasted these two. Very light. The other thing I noticed after drinking this, what was the second glass I just moved, it completely dried my mouth out. It's not happening with this glass. But what I am getting in this glass is a ton of that bitter oak as well. That's what I'm getting more than anything else on this Woodford is a lot of bitter oak. Hmm. Could be my palate tonight. That sip was a lot better than the first sip I had of that glass. Much easier to drink on that sip. A ton better than this. Much lighter than this first glass, from what I remember. And the first glass is a lot of leather. A lot of chocolate. This is interesting. I haven't had Woodford in a very long time, especially not normal Woodford. The only time I drink normal Woodford is if I'm on a plane and I'm looking for just to get a drink, get some Woodford on the rocks, because that's typically what I find on a plane when I'm flying. Um, Other than that, I haven't drank regular Woodford besides the times that I've opened these holiday edition bottles. I just hardly ever have Woodford on hand. It's not quite what I look for in a pour. All right. Let me know in the comments if you're a big Woodford fan, especially these like normal Woodford bottles, what I'm finding to be normal Woodford bottles. Uh, if that's like your daily drinker, I'd like to hear why you like it so much. Maybe you do like those kind of earthier, leathery, kind of like regular bourbon note whiskeys. Um, yeah, I'd be interested to hear. This one smells fantastic. A little bit of fruit in that one. Yeah, that was good. Gonna have to go with another sip of that, and then I'll go back to glass one and see if it should still be in that first place, because right now this might take it. I'm still getting that bitter aftertaste, the bitter oak at the end, but the fruit helped it out a lot. The nose helps that out a ton. It smells great. A little bit of fruit on the nose, lots of vanilla. Caramel on there. I'm still getting that, you know, kind of licking a barrel char when I'm tasting. Which is interesting. I don't get that too often on whiskeys. I'm getting it now though. All right, let me go back to this one and see if I like it the best or if this one is the one. All right. I think this is going to be set. Last place, first place. Let's find out what last place is. Last place is the regular old Woodford out of the plastic 50 milliliter bottle. Not surprised. Plastic bottles don't do the best for whiskey, but I just wanted to see. Maybe that means these holiday editions, not holiday selects, these holiday editions actually are a little bit special. This is C, which would be, C was the 2023 edition. All right, let's see. Second place. Second place was D, which is the 2025, which means number one is going to be the 2023, 2022, 25, 23. Nope. 23, 25, 22. 22 is number one. Whew, my poor brain. Yeah, that's interesting. As you could probably tell as I was going through these, there wasn't a massive difference, and none of them really spoke to me. If I'm being completely honest, I would rather drink 95% of what I have behind me before I would drink any of these neat. Not that they're bad whiskey, they're fine. But I do think they're better suited in a cocktail. And I think Woodford, talks about that on their website quite a bit. So they probably feel the same way about their baseline whiskeys, so I don't feel too bad. I do just wish that for their holiday editions, they would do something a little bit more special. I doubt anybody from Woodford or Jack Daniels would ever see this. But man, those holiday select Jack Daniels were such good bottles. They had such a cool story. I do miss that. If I could make any whiskey wish in the world, it would be that those come back someday. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Cheers.